Okay, now let's get to the Royal Rumble. Um, it's in Tampa, Florida. I'm trying to think of some surprises for both the men's and women's side of the Royal Rumble. They've been very cards close to the chest kind of thing. Not really giving away too many people in there, which I like because in the past few years they've always announced all these people that are going to be in it, and then they show up the graphic, and it's like you count the people on the graphic, and you're like, ah, crap, we're already at 25. So it's like we already know who's in there. Like even if it's not 25 surprises, I do like the idea or the aspect of not knowing who's coming, even if it's somebody we see every week. I just don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? I do have a few surprises in my head that I'm thinking that's going to happen this year for both the men and the women. Part of it's because I want to see it, and part of it is because maybe it makes a little bit of sense. For the men, I say number one, Andrade. He's no longer with AEW. His wife works for WWE's Charlotte Flair. It's and honestly, if you've been in WWE and you've been in AEW, and you have the potential and you already have all the background that Andrade has, I feel like there's only really the only other place to really go to is WWE or maybe TNA now. I think Andrade, I don't think his list is long of places that he'd rather go to. I really truly think he wants to go to WWE because of the way Triple H handled Andrade when he was in NXT was great, and now that Triple H is in charge again, I feel like you're going to see a lot of people that want to come back now that Triple H is the one running things over in WWE. So I think Andrade's coming back. Another name I thought of today, Braun Strowman. I don't know where he's been. He just hasn't been around. I don't know if he's injured, but if he's not, or if he's not anymore, maybe he can make a surprise appearance. He can return. I think that'd be cool. I also have Wade Barrett, just because that's something I want. I've wanted Wade Barrett to show up in the Rumble for a couple years now. Ever since Barrett has been back with WWE doing commentary, which he does an amazing job at. There's that part of me. I just really want him back in the ring wrestling. And I'll even take a one-off Royal Rumble spot for Barrett right now. I've always been a fan of Barrett. It'd be cool to have him in there. Another guy, I got Brock Lesnar. We haven't heard from him in a while. WrestleMania's around the corner. You got to feel like Brock's going to have something to do at WrestleMania. I could see him showing up in the Rumble. Crowd's going to go nuts. I think Brock, whoever he eliminates or whoever eliminates Brock, will be a telltale sign of what the program will be for him at WrestleMania, whether he eliminates Gunther or Bobby Lashley or something. Like, there's going to be something. Maybe Gunther gets rid of Brock. There will be something there, I feel like, if Brock shows up, where it'll kind of guide us into where we think Brock's going to have his match or, at WrestleMania with. Last one for the guys. I only picked 5 on each side. The guys, I'm going to pick Big E because it's in his hometown. I know it's risky. I know the odds might not be that high. The neck injury, that's very hard and serious to come back from. I want him to come back 100% if he's healthy. Like, if there's any chance or if he's still got the lingering issues, don't even do it. That is such a serious thing. Health is first. Health is most important. I selfishly just really love Big E. I think he still has a great future ahead of him, and I would love to see him in the Royal Rumble. And I think the pop at the Royal Rumble would be insane, especially with it being in his hometown. Now, a couple of mentions here. Pat McAfee is always an a chance that he shows up. Maybe Bad Bunny. And if depending on how they want to handle the World Heavyweight Championship, like if they wanted Cody to go for it, then maybe. And this is just me thinking because of the rumors of everything. Maybe Stone Cold shows up in the Royal Rumble. I doubt it, honestly, but it would be cool to see. And there was rumors about him, getting in shape, and then the rumors of him and Punk maybe having a match at WrestleMania. You could always do Steve Austin shows up, throws Punk out, or vice versa. That would be amazing. But I don't know the likelihood of it. I don't think the chances are that high. On the women's side, I got a name that I feel like we haven't heard of or seen in a while. Layla. Where's Layla been? Do you guys remember Layla with Michelle McCool for Lay Cool? I don't know if she just has no interest anymore or if WWE has no interest in bringing her in. I would like to see Layla. I've always thought Layla was cool, and I feel like if you're going to do all of this with Michelle McCool every year, why not switch it up a little bit? Because I feel like in the Women's Royal Rumble, we've kind of seen the same women each time. We haven't really, there's other women you can bring in. There's Victoria. I thought of like Melina, Eve Torres. I don't know what the conversation's like. I don't know if those women want to do it, or I don't know if WWE doesn't want to ask them. I don't know what the situation is. I just know it'd be cool to have some new matchups in there, some new fresh faces that we haven't seen in a long time. I have Liv Morgan returning. She's been out for a little bit. I know she was done being injured, but then she got in a little bit of trouble having some weed in her car or whatever it was. I don't think WWE is really going to penalize that, but she still hasn't been back yet. I think she's good to go. I think we see Liv Morgan return. I also have Sasha Banks. I just have a suspicion. I just feel like Banks is coming back, and I feel like Sasha was going to be in AEW. I think she would have been there by now. Same goes for TNA. We saw her at TNA a few weeks ago, kind of undercover, trying to be unrecognized, but people picked her out. And I feel like if she was going to be in TNA, she would. And especially with the news that Naomi's contract ended, maybe Sasha would like to reunite with her because now I have Naomi coming up in the Rumble too this year. It's again in Florida where Naomi's from. So Naomi's a free agent. I could see her coming back in WWE. That'd be kind of cool. And then if Banks shows up, that'd be cool. I feel like there's more possibilities with the women's match as far as big surprises and returns than there are for the men's. I think the opportunity is there. Another one people keep talking about is Jade Cargill. I would like to see Cargill show up. But thinking about it, it's kind of like you want Jade Cargill, when she shows up finally in WWE, to be all about the centerpiece is her. I feel like if you introduce her for the first time in action in the ring at the Royal Rumble, I feel like the attention kind of isn't all on her kind of thing, and maybe you kind of lessen her star power by doing that right out of the gate. I feel like you would want her to come out and show up and debut on an isolated event where it's not the Rumble, and then like she attacks somebody or makes a statement on somebody out of nowhere, where it's like that's the lasting image is her, instead of getting kind of lost in the shuffle in the Rumble. But who knows? Maybe she shows up in the Rumble. She's been signed for a few months now. She's been training, so who knows? And plus her coming out, nobody knows her song. You don't get the initial pop unless it's a big reveal. I don't know. I would love to see her in the Rumble, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. And last one is AJ Lee. I would love to see AJ Lee in the ring. And since Punk came back, the very first day Punk came back, the first night at Survivor Series, in my head, the wheels just started to go already. Because if that bridge is mended, you have to assume that AJ Lee is not far behind. And whether she wants to perform in the ring or not is up to her. But I feel like there's definitely interest by WWE. Why wouldn't there be? She was one of their biggest names, and by association with CM Punk, I'm sure they haven't reached out to her or really tried to get something going. But now that Punk is back and everybody's on good terms, maybe they've reached out. I hope they have, and I hope she is willing to get back in the ring. She looks like she's in the best shape she's ever been. So I would love to see AJ Lee go, and I think she is going, especially because you got some interesting matchups there. And when Punk first showed up, I immediately thought Becky Lynch and Seth versus Punk and AJ at some point has to happen. I even posted it on the Twitter like a night or two after Punk showed up. So would love to see that. So I guess that's it for me. The Rumble, I think Punk wins. Women's, I think Bayley wins, and then Bayley will swerve Damage Control and face Io Sky at WrestleMania. I think that would be pretty cool.